Hello. Um, I guess I had this thought inside of my chest right now about atheism and the way in which God is portrayed in atheism very often. Because I get the sense that there are these conversations you can have where someone will say, oh, I wish God existed, but, you know, he doesn't exist, it doesn't exist, and so on. Like, no, I wish I could believe, but it's impossible because if you look at the world or my own life, I can see that clearly um, it doesn't exist, uh, and so on. And I was thinking that what all these conversations have in common is I, I feel like there is constantly this sense that God is someone who is going to help you. Like, oh, God is someone who will solve my life, basically. Uh, and they will solve, like, everyone's life, I suppose. But primarily, I think the perspective is I wish God existed because, I would feel better emotionally, psychologically, physically, whatever, right? Mm. And I mean, what I mean by this is I feel that that's the only reading I can make of this because it's never like the perspective from an atheist conversation is never I wish God existed because then I could just love him so deeply, and surrender to him and do everything that is asked of me even if I don't like it. Like, that's not the perspective from the atheist perspective. It's no, oh, it would be good if God existed because it would be good for me. Um, and and so the thing is, right, that isn't God. The thing is that isn't God, but that isn't even a person. Like, if the whole idea is, oh, a personal God doesn't exist because of this and this reason, um, no person exists who is just a vehicle of eternal giving, who will solve your life at every level. Um, it's a fantasy of literally like a boss, sort of mafia boss, really rich person who will solve all your problems. I think that's sort of the idea that is being spoken of, and so it's a materialistic idea, of course, right? It's the idea that what we're dealing with when we're talking about God is basically just like a powerful, rich person with some sort of like magic or medicine to cure your emotional and psychological ills as well. Uh, right? The idea that a person in general is someone who you relate to on a two ways kind of way, where, right, it's a relationship. It's not what they can do for you. It's not exclusively what you can do for them. It's a living relationship. It has nothing to do with just receiving benefits from it or you benefiting the other person, right? Uh, right. It's not about using the other person as a means to an end, but each person is an end unto themselves. That kind of Kant thing, and so, right, it's not even about God then at that point. It's about just people. What kind of an image of people is being had there? Now, of course, this is an image that is promoted heavily culturally. So I think that any element within culture, be it religious or non-religious, so any church, but also any non-church, I think participates of this idea. But that's simply because of the culture that we're living in. I think it has nothing to do with religion or atheism in that specific way. It's about a culture in which material and spiritual well-being is something that is expected from people above you, and that's something that you will receive from people above you, right? I mean, because you have to work in order to obtain that, and you're working for people who are wealthier than you. And then people who are wealthier than you are working for people who are wealthier than them, and it's this whole structure. But so, anyway, I don't know. I was intrigued by the way in which maybe the idea of receiving something for yourself is what's at stake usually in these kinds of conversations. So what's being talked about isn't the existence or non-existence of a person, but what benefit you will get from it. Yeah, I don't know. Thought it was interesting.